Alright, back again. This video comes after you saw me having issues with a head bolt, specifically the aluminum block. I've already done a public service announcement a little while, well, I don't know how many videos ago. I wanted to let you know. I actually just made that just before this video, but it's been a while, probably since it came out. So the reason I explained it, kind of what happened, so if you watch the videos you know what happened. I've taped everything off, everything's covered with plastic. They really recommend that you blow this out with air many times when you're, especially when you're drilling and tapping. That way this stuff doesn't bunch up in there and you tear it up more than what you already have. Now, I bought this kit. I don't even remember where I got it. I've already opened it up, but I really haven't, I'm not showing you anything. I really haven't done anything. There's instructions here. A lot of them are for the Cadillac North Star, but there's another one kind of for specific this engine. It's got a depth gauge. Looks like it's got a magnet or two. And believe me, you need this. You need all. So you know, you know what's going on. So we definitely need the instructions. Comes with Loctite. Oh, there you are. There you are. Comes with Tap Magic. Comes with, set this down, starts to get heavy. Comes with all the stuff that you kind of need to do this. I'll open them up and show them to you. I'll kind of look it up and show you who. Alright, this is bottom tap. Oh, doggone. Camera work is normal. So this is 5/8 by 11. And I think that's because, even though it said it's a that's for the outside thread. So the inserts I'm going to show you are outside thread, are going to be 5/8. The inside is the 11mm. So keep that in mind. Don't panic when you see it's the wrong size. And then this is a 17/32. You may get a glare, I'm not sure, by 1/2 inch. 118 degree point, don't know what all that means. Well, I mean, I know what the point means, but I mean, anyway, that's the actual drill size. There are different kits out there. I noticed one of them is like it's a tapered drill bit. It's like, so it's made to drill one side down one way and then the other side it's, you know, something else. And then this here, come on. And this is to actually make the tap. That was a bottom tap, and this one here specifically is what they call a the actual I'll show it to you. It's called it's a 3-flute hand tap, and this is actually a tap to start cleaning. That's why it's tapered at the bottom, where the other one is flat at the bottom. That's what they call clean out. So there are differences in those. Just keep that in mind. I have not been through this box all the way. I just unboxing. Everybody seems to like that. I've never done it really. This I'll show you how to use along with this. It's specifically it says 17/32 on it. You may or may not be able to see that because I don't know if it will. It's either glary or where are you at? But that actually says 17/32 on it. For that drill bit to go through. That's what that's for. And then this should be still in a box here, same box. And it's taped up pretty good. I don't know if I can get into it. That's setting it down. That's the line-up pin. There's actually 2 pieces in it. I'll show you again how to use it. I'm just showing you kind of what's in this box right now. Oh, don't fall off there. I don't want to try to find everything. And there's 2 different sizes of bushings of some type, obviously machined. So we'll deal with them here in a minute. Set them aside. And the last box, I think, is all of the threads, the zerts they call them. Seems like there's 20 of them, if I'm not mistaken. 21, and this should be able to do the entire block. And I'm thinking about just doing this end and that end and then trying my luck. Worst case scenario, if I have to take it back apart and do them all, then that's what I'll do. I should do them all right now. But since the other side did okay, I think this was, I'm not going to call it a random fluke because I really don't know what happened. But basically, I'll show you when we pull these out of the bag. Well, I guess it's resealable, so I'll show you. So once you get that drilled tapped, put your Loctite on there. It's got a little tool that will thread this thing in. At least I think it does. Anyway, I'll have to look again because I thought it had something. Anyway, then these thread down, and then inside your thread is your, if you look in there, kind of like I told you, the thread start, well, where are you at? See, the thread start ways down there, so I'll have to read the instructions all the way through before I do that. But I should be able to put the head bolts away. A couple of them, one's gonna have to be cleaned up because it's clear full of aluminum shavings. So, yep, goes in there without any issues. Well, I say, you know, it's got oil and stuff on it. I probably ought to be careful not to make a big mess about that. These holes are somewhat tapered, they said, or the bolts could be tapered, so it goes on backwards too. So I'll just have to, I'm gonna have to re-clean all the head bolts anyway. Especially, like I said, this one that still has mostly aluminum block hooked to it. Took every thread off of it. Could there be something wrong with this bolt? Yeah, but I would say that there was some issues with the original. Taking it apart, the head gasket wasn't blown on this engine, so this wasn't a problem. That wasn't the initial problem with this engine. Now, did I ever drive? He just told me he was constantly having to put coolant in it, or oil, because it was just, you know, losing oil everywhere, which that was obvious. So, all right, put this away. Alright, so I'm going to set up, do some research, and then I will bring you back when I'm ready to start actually doing, because I got to get my drill, got to make sure it's got a good battery in it, and I may set a light up here just to make sure I can see what's going on. Got to get my air hose out, blowgun, got a bunch of stuff I need to get out. I may put a bolt in this hole just to this is an old bolt. Ain't gonna hurt anything because it's not gonna stay in it. It's just to plug that hole so it doesn't fill full of garbage. Only probably stepped on this 50 times. I mean, I could tape it up, but it's got the deal on it. It's just that, you know what? It really didn't work. It still left a pretty good gap. So I'll put something over that to where crap won't go down in it. I may just keep blowing it out too with the gun. But anyway, I've covered up everything else that needs to be covered. So everything is taped up. I may run a piece of tape, which I told myself to do that a minute ago, so it holds this down so when I'm blowing air, it doesn't pick it up. Anyway, I'll bring you back here in just a minute when we get ready to get started. Well, mistake number one is I taped all this off, thinking I was going to keep everything from getting everywhere. I have to have this flat surface here, and I have to have it opened up to the bolt next to it to put that deal on it. This one was $400 for this kit. Amazon and other places like that, I found them on eBay and several different places on Google, but they're about $480 for the one that has the 4 plate. That is probably a better way to go if you have to do this all the time. Like if you've got a business or a shop, or you're going to have to do a lot of these for whatever reason, like you got stuck with 20 aluminum blocks and you're not sure anything about them. They actually sit here, you pull this pin out, and it actually sits, line up pins, what I mean, for the head. And it actually bolts to 3 of the bolts. And what that's for is in case you have most of your holes are already wallered out and ain't no good. That's what that's for, is surely there's 1 or 2 that's good enough to get you started, or at least it lines up to where you know you're lined up good enough to get this done. In this case, I've taped all this off to keep garbage out of it, and that is not doing me any good because I need this opened up here, and this needs to be flat across there. So I had to take all this back off. I'll try not to completely tear it up because I taped everything up to when I blew in there, you know, nothing would blow around. I was trying to outthink it, and I probably shouldn't have done that. So I will have to retape this a different way. But see, I've already got the lifters and everything. I mean, I was assembling, you guys know this, I was assembling this, so yeah. I'm just looking at stuff here. I've actually been on vacation. We've been out of town for over a week, so I mean everything was covered, but I just want to make sure. Okay, something I didn't mention. I'm sorry. This is my bad. Company I ordered these, sent me 4 of these. I'm not really sure why. This is the name of the company, and this is the part number, which is the NS300L, which is specific for the I think it's 2004 and up aluminum block, because there are some that have, if you recall, on I can't remember if it was a 4.8 or that 5.3. There's some of those years that a couple of the bolts on the heads are different lengths. They're the same 11 millimeter, but there's like 2 on one head and 2 on the other. So there's 4 of them that are shorter than the others, and you know, because of that, you know, that causes problems. But anyway, that's the name of the company, and that's the part number specifically for at least this engine. So make sure you do your own research. This there's 2 sets of instructions. The one that comes with it all the time, the way I take it, is for the Cadillac engine, because that is basically what they're for the 93 to 2000 and whatever it is up. Because I'm not a I like Cadillacs. I've just the only one I've ever had was a Catera, and I didn't keep that very long. I really wanted to LS that. Actually, from '93 to 2011. So there's 2 sets of instructions, as I told you kind of to begin with. This one specifically gets you started. It has the information on how to set everything up and whatever. But basically, what they're saying is, the setup plate, you buy the inserts and the drill bit and those little threads, and basically you can use this on a whole bunch of different sizes of engines, because these are removable. What I didn't show you was I'll get it out of here. So this is the plate. It'll actually sit here, and I put a lineup. Excuse me, I'll put it on the right way. Basically, it has a lineup pin I put in here, and that's what lines this up, and then you bolt this down and make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. Then you snug this down using a good head bolt that works. And this thing is actually removable. This one comes out. This is the drilling one, and then there's one for the tap. So but basically it screws in. It's got a thumb screw on it, or or deal. But that's how this kind of works. So with that said, here's the one for the tap, which is it'll go back in that hole, but it's a bigger diameter, as you can see, and that's to make sure that the tap goes in and stays lined up, because you don't want that thing walking left or right. You don't want a 11-degree hole going down. So this is set up for that. It just goes right down inside, and that is, yeah, it should go down in there. I assume it went down in there. Maybe it don't. Maybe that's all it does. It's just, yeah, it's tight though. It ain't going anywhere. Just back and forth. And then it tells you I have 2 sets of instructions. Like I said, one specifically for the Cadillac. Oh, and also it has, where you at? It has a list of everything you should have. Tells you what it's specifically for, but can be used on da 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 da. And then this next page then explains to you step 1 on how to set this up, and from there this set of instructions then kicks in, which it says repairs 2004 to 2015 GMLS series Gen 3 second design. That's when I'm talking about those head bolts that are different lengths. That's second design, and Gen 4 aluminum engines with the 11 millimeter by 2.0 head bolt, and that's exactly what this one is. It fits 4.8, 5.3, LS4, 5.7, LS1, and LS6, 6 liter, LS2, 6.2, LS3, and 7.0 LS7, not for the LS9. Don't know what the difference is. They probably changed the bolts, be able to take the more pressure. But anyway, with that said, then that specifically tells you, read the instructions, this Cadillac, OEM factory bolts or studs such as ARP are recommended. Do not reuse old bolts. We all, we've kind of talked about that. The threads on the old head bolts are often stretched out of pitch from torquing, causing them to bind when you're trying to put them in those new inserts. That's why they want you to use new ones. They prefer you to use OEM bolts. I do not have. I've got Felpro. That's the ones I bought. So I will experiment with that before I just jam it down in there and see what happens. I will probably put the thread zert in there once we're done with this point, Loctite it in, and I'm not going to put the head on until later this afternoon, maybe even Monday. I'd really like to get it done today. I got to work the next 3 days. I may even do it tomorrow after work, come out and do it. And that way, I know you can't read any of this. I'm just kind of holding it up there showing you. Because I really want that to make sure that that thing doesn't move, when I'm putting it in there. Maybe it's supposed to move a bit, but I'm not going to chance it to bottom out or only catch part of them threads because it either went too far or didn't go down or whatever. But when mounting the drill tab jig, follow the instructions on page 3 and 4, which is that other one for the short spacer provided. Then it talks about in that one which one of those spacers you use depends on the Cadillac specifically. This one is specific. Using the short spacer provided, 1.5 inch diameter by 1.25 inch long, along with one of the thread bolts. It goes on the other one. We'll do that here in a minute. Drill the hole the entire length of the original hole depth, 2 3/4 or 70 millimeter, making sure remove all factory threads. So that's what we're going to do. The first thing is we have to get the short spacer, which is this one. What this is doing between this and this, it's making up the height of the head that would normally be on there. Now I had a head bolt that I was messing with, old one. What did I do with it? Throw it back on the floor? Well, I'm sure I did. Let me walk past you here. Why, I'm sure I did. There it is. I stepped on it 6 times. Boy, I've got to get this cleaned up. The shop is a mess. Now, it doesn't say anything about oiling this up, but I will not put anything in there without being lubed up. Now, there's still oil down in the hole, too. So, Okay. Now, this one's actually showing, the picture's actually showing using the long one. This is specific for the Cadillac. And what it's showing is the bolt actually going recessed down inside there. So don't be surprised that's not going to work in this application. This specifically says using the short spacer provided in the instructions for the 5.3, not for the Cadillac. And you can see that's all I got. And what we're going to do is we're going to run this down by hand until it makes contact, and then make sure that this thing is where it belongs. And I'm pretty sure it is. And you want to snug it. Don't try to close it, tear it in half. There's no sense in doing this 2 or 3 times now, is there? So let me get rid of this. It's a 15, but I got a 5/8, so I'm just going to snug it up. I am not, and I'm not saying, obviously this could tear more threads out. Like I said, what I've read and what research have done is both these end holes, like I said earlier, are the problem child. I don't know why. See, now that I've done this, now this actually messes everything up I already had, but I don't want anything down in the cylinders and down in the lifter pockets especially. So we are going to make that not happen the best we can. I will tape it to you. You watch me. Because I don't want down in the water jackets. I don't want it over top of these. The problem is I got a little bit of oil here and there, so the odds of this tape sticking is pretty slim. But we're going to try. We're going to mess with it anyway. Come on. Nope, not gonna stick. Still probably got oil and stuff on it. It really don't need to, it just needs to not fly apart in the middle of what I'm doing here. Don't need this stuff in the water jacket. Especially when I blow the garbage out of it. Water jacket. And also, because this hole's open and I can see a water jacket down there, take that up just a tad. And the rest of this. Like I said, if I would have known this was a problem, because I did zero research on the aluminum block, I just assumed it was the same as the cast, and I followed the cast rules, and apparently that is not always the case. So this is absolutely 100% my fault. I am not complaining about General Motors up in Independence, Kansas, who did the original work on this. I, if anything, am blaming myself, because I did not follow the rules. There may be somebody get on here and say, well, you idiot, you should have been more written. Yep, absolutely. You don't need to tell me. You don't think I didn't learn this the hard way. This has actually cost me, this engine now is going to owe me money that I will never get back. Unless I sell this kit to somebody who may be having the same problem and I just wash my hands of all aluminum blocks, which of course is always a possibility. I don't have anything against them, but I can already see that the 75 pounds of weight savings may not be worth it. You can't bore them. You have to replace the sleeves. You can't, obviously you could have problems with this. So, live and learn. All right. So we know this is in there. It slides in and out real easy. So it is definitely lined up. Thing is tight. We are going to get out some of this. It's made for tapping, but I'm going to use just a little bit of oil. You got to have some type of lubricant, regardless. And I don't really want tapping. I'd rather use oil for drilling. So let me see what I got laying around here for some type of a spray lube or something. Aha! Oh! I wonder if I stepped on that. That's not exactly what I had planned. This is that gel lubricant that I use. I kind of brag on. WD-40, not a sponsor. Well, it comes out everywhere but the end. That has worked out perfect. Apparently stepping on them or leaving them laying around. Oh, now it's not doing anything. Ah! Alright, we will leave it down. Alright, come here, Drill. Probably shouldn't be doing this a lot, but like I said, it's more of a that thing's actually turning. Okay, that's not supposed to be turning, I don't bet. I don't really want to. I wonder if it had a. I don't think it had a hole in it where it's supposed to line up anywhere. No. Maybe it's supposed to spin a bit. I don't like it doing that, but. Okay, I don't like it doing that at all. That's supposed to really stay down there. I'm going to have to get a tool and make this thing stay in there, I guess. I need to blow this garbage out of it anyway. You only go so far. Here's oh, it's nice and noisy. I'm wearing aluminum. It's everywhere. Maybe I shouldn't have lubed it up so much. Wow, it is blowing stuff everywhere. Sounds like shrapnel. Let me, okay, I'm going to get the I'll tighten this up a little bit more. Yes, I know this is aluminum block, and I don't like that thing. The turning part didn't bother me at first, but then it started riding up. We don't want that. I have no idea, because I didn't read all the instructions. I read most about how far it's supposed to go down. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't have intended this to go bad. That's where these measuring devices come in. I am just about to the bottom. It's a little bit more. As it says, let me get this back out, 2 3/4 of an inch. So if I put this at 2 3/4. Oh, wait a minute. It's the wrong way, goofball. Now, mind you, it's probably, I don't know if it's taken into account. I think that's what this was for. It's this thing. I will check. I will take it back apart here in just a second. I'll drill it just a little bit more, but not much. Come on. No. That should be it. So just to make sure, what we're going to do, blow this garbage out. Go down in there. That was loud. I'm sorry. I think we got her though. Yep. So let's make sure. I will take this back off. Worst case scenario, put it back on. Hang on. Trying not to. Tape sticks to itself well, but not to anything else. Actually, I think that can stay on there. So it's better to cut her a little short and have to go do it again than it is to over drill it and then drill into the water jacket or into the cylinder head or some goopy thing like that. Okay, where are we at? 2 3/4 of an inch. And nope. How does nope sound? I am at 2 inch. I need 3/4 inch to go. Yep, which makes sense because of the height. Uh-oh. Because of the height of that, so I can get this back to where it's on metal and not tape. Line up in and throw it on the floor. Now it goes all the way down in there. Make sure the tape ain't under it anywhere, or the snot rag here. Nope. So this came out pretty easy. Let's try to get this a little bit more here covered up. So we need 3/4 inch more. It's actually almost the length of what's left on that drill bit. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. I know that was only about 1/4 inch or so. I really don't want to. No. Yeah, it's not letting me go back in. Let me blow this off. Make sure you got eye protection on, guys. Aluminum shrapnel everywhere. Well, I won't bore you with this. I want to take it back off and measure it one more time. Again, I would rather measure it multiple times than make a mistake. I'll bring you back here in just a minute.